Good morning, students. I am Dr. Ritika, the faculty of CSC department as an associate professor in St. Andrews Institute of Technology and Management. Today, I am going to deliver the lecture on subject CAM, and the topic will be the computer memory. The computer memory is the topic of Unit 1. We will so we will cover today the topic of unit 1 is computer memory. So let's start. What is computer memory? Now, introduction. Computer memory is any physical device capable of storing information temporarily or permanently. So memory, electronic component that store instructions, data and results, which consist of one or more chips on motherboard or other circuit board. So each byte stores in unique location called as address, similar to seats in a concerned whole. So a specific address is mentioned to their unique locations in our memory. So it holds the data and instructions that the central processing unit needs. Central processing unit means CPU. Before a program can be run, the program is loaded from the storage medium into memory. It allows the CPU to direct interact with the program, where memory is need for every computer. So let's move about the history of memory. In the history of memory, in the early 1940s, memory technology mostly permitted a capacity of a few bytes, where ENIAC, that is Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, is the first electronic general purpose computer that is capable of being reprogrammed to solve a large class of numerical problem. So, but a glance. Now we will move about the different hierarchy classification we will cover here. So next is the comp- compute computer memory hierarchies. So before computer memory hierarchy, at the end of history, we will see a little bit description about the memory. At a glance, computer memory is further classified into two parts, that is primary memory and secondary memory. So primary memory is a RAM, ROM, which is the static RAM, dynamic RAM, and ROM is the PROM, EPROM, EEPROM, that is the EA erasable ROM, flash memory, all all the part of RAM. Now in secondary memory, sequential and random. Sequential memory includes gramophone records, magnetic tapes. Random means which is in the category of secondary memory as CD, hard disk, floppy disk, mass storage devices, or are the part of random memory and which is correlated with our secondary memory. So here is the memory capacity, which describes how much storage capacitor in how much byte it stores the data. So 1 bit is equal to 1 binary digit, 1 nibble is equal to 4 bit, 1 byte is equal to 8 bit, that is approximately 1 character. 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes, which is one and a half page double spaced. It is used. 1 megabyte is equal to 1 million bytes, approx how much pages? 500, more than 5000 pages. 1 gigabyte approx 1 billion bytes, and 1 terabyte approx 1 trillion bytes. So 1 gigabyte approx 5 million pages, and 1 terabyte approx 5 billion pages. So these are the units in which our data is stored inside the memory. So these are related to the memory capacity. Now, what is memory hierarchy? In computer architecture, the memory hierarchy is the concept used to discuss performance issued in computer architectural design, algorithm predictions, and lower level programming constructs which involves locality of references, and in computer memory hierarchy it stores separates each of its level based on their response time. Now you can see processor. Processor includes CPU and cache memory. CPU consists of various processor registers, which is the faster memory. Then in processor, it includes cache memory, which is faster, expensive, small capacity, and in cache, it is stored in very different levels of cache. Now, in next is the SDRAM, that is DDR SDRAM also, which is the physical memory, which is used in the random access memory, that is the RAM. Solid state devices as a memory which is non-volatile flash based memory whose speed is very average. So and their if speed is average, then the capacity is average in the storage form. And the last is a mechanical hard drive, which is the virtual memory, which is basically used for file based, which is cheaper, slower, and their large capacity. So these are the memory hierarchy on the basis of which we store the data, we store the informations and instructions in the memory system. So let's move on the types of memory. So here is the classification of memory. Memory can be classified into three parts, that is the internal processor memory, main memory, secondary memory. Now we will learn one by one. First is the internal processor memory. In an internal process memory, a small high speed memory inside the processor which is temporarily stored of instructions and data. For example, registers and built-in cache. Now, delay line memory. It was developed by Erkut in the early 1940s, which is basically used in our digital computer. So it would be limited to a capacity of up to a few hundred thousands bits to remain efficient. So now next is the magnetic core memory. In magnetic core memory, you can see here I have shown some figure or diagram, so you can easily understand about the magnetic core memory. They look like this. So it was the computer memory to choose throughout the 1960s until it was replaced by the semiconductor memories. Now what is main memory? A main memory is a relatively large memory placed outside the processor where data and instructions are stored for the operations of the processors, which can be accessed directly and rapidly by the CPU. So main memory is further classified into two parts, that is RAM and ROM, or you can say it is the example of main memory is RAM and ROM. So now here is the image of main memory. You can see here it is RAM. These are, I have mentioned two RAMs in the images, so students look like how RAMs look like inside our computer system. So next is the type of main memory. Now type of main memory I have mentioned in next slide, in previous slide, that is RAM, that is random access memory, and ROM, that is read only memory. So firstly is the random access memory. A random access memory is a temporary storage that can be used to be read from, or it is a temporary storage that can be read from or written into the user. It is also known as volatile memory, where every location can be accessed independently. So it can be access time from every location is constant and independent of its position. Now you can see here RAM is also further classified into two parts, that is dynamic RAM and static RAM. So here is the figure about the random access computer memory. Lots of random access memory I have mentioned in this slide, and inside the figure you can see here lots of RAM memories, that is the random access memories. So now next is the dynamic RAM. Dynamic RAM stands for dynamic random access memory, DRAM you can say. So it is short form is DRAM and the full form is dynamic RAM, which is used for main memory and relatively slower and low cost memory, whose access time is 60 to 70 nanosecond and contents are constantly refreshed 1000 times per second in a dynamic RAM. Here you can see it is a dynamic RAM memory. It needs to be refreshed thousands of times per second, while a dynamic RAM needs to automatically refresh thousands of times per second. That is where it gets the name dynamic. Otherwise it is forget the informations it is holding. So here is the two examples, two figures of DDRAM 2 RAM, DDRAM 3 RAM. It is the DDRAM DDR3 RAM and it is a DDR2 RAM. These are the dynamic random access memories. So here are the different type of DDRAM, DDR, SDRAM, that is double data rate synchronous RAM, which first is DDR RAM, transfer data twice per clock cycle. DDR clock speed range between 200 MHz and 400 MHz. DDR 200 transfer 1600 MB per MBs, while DDR 400 transfer 3200 MBs. So next is the DDR2 SDRAM, that is double data rate 2 synchronous RAM. It is twice faster as DDR, which means twice as much data is carried to the module for each clock cycle. Its speed range is between 400 MHz and 800 MHz, where DDR2 400 transfers 3200 Mbps, where DDR2 800 transfers 6400 Mbps. Now next is the DDR3 SDRAM, that is double data rate 3 synchronous RAM. It is supposed to act twice as faster as DDR2 memories, where its speed range is between 800 MHz and 1600 MHz. So DDR3 transfers 800 transfers 6400 Mbps, whereas DDR3 1600 transfer over 12800 Mbps. So these are the different type of DDRAMs, which is further classified on the basis of their synchronizations and their rates, so storage capacities. So these are the types of our dynamic RAM. Now next is the static RAM. Static, that is SRAM, it stands for static RAM. It characterized by high speed and high cost, which is use 6 transistors to store data, whose access time is 60 to 70 nanosecond, which accepts one command and transfer one word of data per clock cycle. These are the introduction or the use of the static RAM. So here you look like how static RAM look like. So it does not need to be refreshed, which is what makes it faster than DRAM. So both type of RAM are volatile, means that they lose their contents when the power is turned off. So students, RAM is a volatile memory which is not a permanent memory. So what is read only memory? So read only memory is a class of storage used in computer and other electronic device Data stored in it cannot be modified. It is also known as non-volatile memory. In modern PCs, ROM is used to store the basic bootstrapping firmwares for the main processor as well as the various firmwares needed to internally control self-contained devices such as graphic cards, hard disks, DVD drivers. All are the examples of ROM, that is read-only memory. So here you can see it is ROM which stores without electrical current. So it is random read only memory or is sometimes called non-volatile memory. So it is also known as permanent memory because the data is not erased when the system is switched off. So here is a type of ROM, that is static ROM, PROM, EPROM, EEPROM memory. EEPROM memories, erasable memories are the type of ROM. Now next is the secondary memory, much larger in capacity but slower than main memory. Permanent storage of data and instructions. Some examples are hard disk, CD and floppy are the examples of our secondary memory. Now next is the flash memory. Now what is flash memory? It is a non-volatile memory that can be erased electronically and rewritten similar to EEPROM. It is introduced by Toshiba in 1984. So Toshiba designed it in 1984, which they introduced the new memory is called to be flash memory. So most computers use it to hold up their startup instructions and also used in many mobiles, smartphones, digital cameras and personal data assistants, that is PDA. Here is the various flash memories which is basically used to hold the data in our mobile systems. So these are the flash memories. So now next is a cache memory. Cache memory is very important and very useful memory in our computer memory system. It performs suffers when processors wait for data from slow memory device. So it is introduced between the CPU and the main memory. It is a high speed memory for holding recently accessed data in main memory, and the amount of cache memory has a tremendous impact on the computer's speeds. So here is the cache memory you can see in the figure. So it is smaller, faster memory which stores copies of the data from frequently used by main memory on their locations. So here is the two type of cache memory. First is level 1, that is L1 cache, which is CPU restrained cache. L2 level 2 L2 cache, which is a motherboard resistant cache. So here you can see CPU, cache, main memory. So basically cache memory is used to increase the speed of CPU. If CPU want to access some data from main memory, and if CPU needs it access again and again, so CPU so that data, particular data is stored inside the cache. So CPU can directly access that data information from the cache instead of main memory. So it can fasten the speed of CPU. So CPU acts as an interface between CPU and main memory. So it is a role of cache which interact with both CPU and main memory. If CPU want if CPU want data access again and again, so main memory store it inside the cache. So CPU can directly interact with cache, so which increase the speed of the CPU. So here is the role of CPU, how CPU works with the help of cache. So the operations of cache memory is mentioned here. It's the main memory, that is DRAM, and it's the cache memory, that is SRAM, and it's the CPU. So firstly, CPU fetch data from next to current address in main memory. In second, CPU check to see whether the next instruction is required is in cache. No. Then if it is, then the instruction is fetch from the cache a very fast oppositions. And then fourth, if not, the CPU has to fetch next instruction from main memory, a most slower process. So it acts, so cache memory acts as an interface between CPU and the main memory. Here is the conclusion about the memory. So memory is an important part of computer. Without memory, probably a computer is of no use is a greater sense. So our memory is the storage capacity which contain the data and instruction of our computer system. Whatever be the work we have done with the computer, all are stored inside the memory. So it was all about our computer memory, which is a topic of our unit 1. So let's revise once, then further we will move on our important questions. So here students, we will revise it once, so you will recall all about the computer memory. So firstly, what we have covered, wait a second, we have covered introduction about the memory. Then what is memory, we have learned some definitions, some storage capacities, so which holds the CPU instructions. Then little bit about the history of the computer memory, we have covered it. Then at a glance we have seen how much type of memory, primary, secondary, and how primary is further classified into two parts, RAM, ROM, and how secondary memory is classified into sequential and random. Here we have learned about the memory capacities, which unit describes how much storage capacity. Memory hierarchy, we have learned about the memory hierarchies which based on the storage capacities. So here is the memory hierarchy on the basis of processor, SDRAM, solid state devices, and mechanical hard drives. So here we have, next slide, we have covered our type of memory, that is the internal processor, main memory, and secondary memory. We have learned about internal processor memory, I have explained here, which is the small high speed memory. Then we have learned delay line memories, what is delay line, who have developed it, based used for digital computers. Then in next slide we have learned magnetic core memory, which is replaced by semiconductors. Then we have learned about the main memory. Then images, I have mentioned in main memory, type of main memory, that is RAM and ROM. So random access memory, which is volatile memory. Also RAM further divided into dynamic RAM and static RAM. Here is the figure of S, random access memory. And what about the dynamic RAM, that is DRAM, figure of DRAM, various other figures of DRAM, which is classified on the basis of their storage capacity. So these are the types of RAM, which is on the basis of their storage capacity, their speed, their transferring of data. These are the DDR, DDR2, DDR3 on the basis of their synchronization, in which they store data and information. Then we have learned about SRAM. Then you can see here it is an SRAM. So that is read only memory, which is non volatile memory. So it is known as a permanent memory. Here we have learned various type, SRAM, PROM, EEPROM, secondary memory, CD, hard disk. We have learned about this memory. Then we have learned about flash memory. It is introduced by Toshiba in 1984, basically used for in our mobile smartphones, digital cameras. These are the images of some flash memories. Now cache memory, which is the fastest memory and which is very helpful for CPU, which acts as an interface between CPU and main memory. So here is the figure of cache memory. You can see which is the fastest memory, smaller size memory. And here is the type of cache. Here is the operations cache performs between the main memory and CPU, how it fetch the data instruction, how it transfer to the CPU, how cache understand the requirements of CPU, how they can fetch instruction and data and pass to the CPU. So all operations are done by cache memory. So these are the conclusion about the memory system. Now questions at the end, we will learn some questions on the basis of our slides, on the basis of our CAM topic of unit 1, that is computer memory. So what are the questions? What is computer memory? Explain types of computer memory. Explain RAM ROM memory in computer system. Explain the difference between RAM and ROM memory in the computer memory, where examiner can put question in front of you like explain type of RAM in computer memory. So RAM stand for, once again I am repeating, random access memory. And examiner can ask you about the explain type of ROM in computer memory, that is the read only memory. So students, it is all over about the computer memory, which is basically used for storing instructions and data given by the user, given by the CPU to the cache, which interact with CPU and main memory. So we have learned about the memory system. So thank you students, thank you very much for your kind attention. In our next slide we will cover next topics. Remaining topics may be operating system, some networking devices are left of our unit 1, some virus, antivirus, firewalls, wireless networking. Some topics are left related to our unit 1 that we will cover in our next slide. For this slide, it is all about our computer memory. Once again I am saying in your syllabus just attend an introduction about computer memory, but we have already explained in slide as a little bit description about RAM and ROM. So it's up to you how much information you will gain from these slides. So students, thank you very much once again for your kind attentions. Thank you students.